We are Team 16 and would like to welcome you to this presentation on the evaluation of the Latin American distribution network for Caterpillar Logistics. We are a team of seniors and juniors who are studying supply chain management and marketing. We would like to begin this presentation by giving a short overview of the current situation that Caterpillar is facing today.
So when we're talking about Cat Logistics, we're really talking about Caterpillar trying to find strength through responsiveness in its order fulfillment. That's the entire point of it having Cat Logistics as a separate arm. Now, to suppliers and buyers in drastically different economic environments, it is beneficial to have just one organization that's responsible for getting them aftermarket parts and that handles the logistic aspect of it. So today's discussion really mirrors a lot of the challenges that Caterpillar is facing globally, not just in South America, but also in the Middle East, in Europe, and in its Asian markets. So when we're talking about the challenges that Cat Logistics is facing in terms of order fulfillment, those challenges really fall into one of three dimensions. The first one is time. In terms of lead time for deliveries, both emergency and standard variety, the goals that Cat Logistics set for itself globally was to be able to have emergency deliveries done in a day, functionally in a business day, and standard deliveries within a week of when they were placed. And the current 11-day and 32-day wait times are drastically longer than what was expected or acceptable according to the standards that the team set. The second dimension is space and whether the warehouses have enough place to put all the inventory they need to keep up with current orders. And we find that in all of the warehouses that currently Cat Logistics uses, there is either a projected shortage of space or there is even a current shortage of space in terms of the floor space and the surface area available for all of the goods that it stocks and ships. And finally, and probably more importantly, is meeting demand itself. Distributors can get past longer than average lead times, and they can look past packed warehouses. But if several orders are failing to be made at all, and if demand and supply have a fundamental mismatch, then Caterpillar loses a lot of its advantage as a global supplier and really is not delivering according to the responsiveness factor, which again is the entire point for having Cat Logistics as its distribution arm.
To begin our data analysis, we wanted to have a visual of how much it is costing Caterpillar to not meet demand due to the capacity constraints within their facilities of Miami, Mexico, and Brazil. To retrieve this information, we first compared the differences between the monthly estimated demand and current on-hand inventory of each of these three facilities. The differences that returned negative values were the part numbers that will not be meeting their estimated demand. This narrowed the scope of what data we continued to analyze, which were only the part numbers that were not forecasted to satisfy the demand in each specific facility. Based on those part numbers, we were able to find out how much each specific part cost. From this, we were able to sum the total cost of each part number that was not meeting demand to get an estimate on how much this missed demand was costing each facility at an aggregate level. From this, we estimated the cost of missed demand in Miami to be the most significant at a little under $900,000, Mexico to be around $350,000, and lastly Brazil to be a little over $100,000. From this information, it was clear to us that expanding in Miami might be an appropriate solution for Caterpillar. However, we realized that these costs were not taking into account of how large each facility is compared to one another. To allow that variable to weigh into the equation, we calculated how much missed demand was costing each facility per square foot of that facility. From this, we found that each missed demand was costing Mexico about $4.38 in missed demand per square foot, and Miami and Brazil to be around $2.24 and 51 cents respectively. From this, we can conclude that there is an argument that expanding the facility in Mexico would yield the largest return on investment in terms of the expansion initiative. We also advocate that expanding in Mexico would be more beneficial for Caterpillar because it is stated that Miami is landlocked and the operating costs would be at least nominally lower in Mexico than it would be in the United States.
Currently, Miami facility supplies 65% of the demand in South America. However, as presented earlier, the demand is not being met on time. Since our emergency order must be delivered to local dealers, within the next following day, we believe that opening up another facility to fill the current demand fulfilled by Miami facility would help reduce lead time and relieve stress for Miami facility. After researching candidates in the South American region, we found that Chile seems to be the best location financially and socially. There are several factors that we took into account when choosing the location for our new plant. First, we look at infrastructure availability and logistical capability of each country. We found that Chile has a logistical performance index of 3.26, which is the highest among 3 countries. Moreover, Chile has the highest GDP among the 3 options, showing the most economic stability. It is also regarded as one of the least corrupt and most vibrant democracies in South America. Finally, only Chile has positive political stability score among these three countries. Considering geographical factors, we can see that Chile will better supply the demand in South American region than Panama can. Overall, we think that CAT should open up a new location in Chile to supply future demand.
As Alex, Kay, and John have mentioned, we identified that there is an opportunity for improvement in the Latin American distribution network, and based on our research, we found that Mexico and Chile are locations for the network expansion. Now the challenge was determining the size for the Chile location and the additional square footage needed for the Mexico facility expansion. To do this, we looked at utilization. Utilization is the actual output divided by the potential output. To put this in terms of demand, it would be the number of items delivered or outgoing compared to the number of items demanded. In the case, we were given utilization rates for each facility in the year 2020, which is the target to fulfill. By the year 2020, all facilities, Miami, Mexico, and Brazil, will be over 100% utilization, which is not feasible, and therefore, assuming all facilities run at 100% utilization, the percentage above 100 is the demand that will not be met by the current facility conditions. We found that the space needed to accommodate for this demand by multiplying the percentage over 100% utilization by the space of that warehouse. For Miami, that was 100,000 square feet, Mexico was 24,000 square feet, and Brazil is 23,000 square feet. That is a combined of an additional 147,000 square feet of warehouse space needed to accommodate for unmet future demand. This 147,000 square feet will be split between the Mexico facility and the Chile facility. The Mexico facility will have an expansion of 24,000 square feet, and that is based off the information in the current order to delivery timesheet. That data shows that Mexico only services Mexico, and therefore the 24,000 square feet will be sufficient in meeting the future demand for the facility, for the demand that facility already services. The remaining 123,000 square feet will be the size of the new facility in Chile. This facility will allow for lower transportation costs and quicker delivery times to the Latin American nations it services.
We strongly believe that with this new expansion plan, Caterpillar Logistics will be able to see improvements with shipment rates and order fulfillment by reducing utilization of the over-encumbered Miami facility. We look forward to seeing how this expansion plan will be introduced, and thank you for your time.